In the heart of a Europe divided by faith and ambition, Maria Anna of Bavaria emerged as a figure of grace, devotion, and resilience. Born in 1574 to William V, Duke of Bavaria, and Renata of Lorraine, Maria Anna was a princess destined for greatness. But her influence would extend far beyond the gilded halls of her Bavarian court. Raised in a deeply Catholic household, she embodied the virtues of faith, duty, and loyalty, traits that would later shape the course of European history. Her marriage to Ferdinand II of the Habsburg Dynasty in 1600 was more than a union of two powerful families. It was a calculated alliance aimed at fortifying Catholic strength in an era of religious turmoil. At the dawn of the 17th century, Protestant-Reformation movements were sweeping across Europe, challenging the dominance of the Catholic Church and igniting conflicts that would soon plunge the continent into the devastating 30 Years' War. Yet, behind the scenes of power struggles and battles, Maria Anna played a quieter, but no less significant, role. As a queen consort, she provided unwavering support to her husband, Ferdinand, a man whose devout Catholicism and ambition to restore the faith would make him a central figure in one of history's most destructive conflicts. Maria Anna's steadfast faith and keen political instincts helped Ferdinand navigate the treacherous waters of European politics, while her dedication to their family ensured that the next generation of Habsburg leaders would carry forward her legacy. Though her life was cut short in 1616, before Ferdinand ascended to the imperial throne, Maria Anna's impact on her husband's reign and their children's futures endured. She was a queen who ruled not with a crown, but with her unwavering commitment to her faith, her family, and the cause of Catholicism. Her story, though often overshadowed by the monumental events of her time, remains a testament to the quiet power of influence and the enduring legacy of devotion. Maria Anna of Bavaria was born on December 8, 1574, into one of Europe's most illustrious and devout Catholic families. Her father, William V, Duke of Bavaria, was renowned for his staunch Catholicism, a zeal so profound that he earned the nickname the Pious. Her mother, Renata of Lorraine, was equally devoted to the faith, fostering a household where religious devotion intertwined with the responsibilities of governance. The court of Bavaria in Munich was a thriving hub of Catholic art, culture, and Counter-Reformation activity, and Maria Anna's upbringing reflected this vibrant yet disciplined atmosphere. From an early age, Maria Anna was immersed in the ideals of piety and duty. Her education was rigorous, emphasizing not only the traditional skills expected of a noblewoman, such as music, embroidery, and court etiquette, but also a deep understanding of theology, philosophy, and the arts. Tutors and Jesuit scholars, brought in specifically to instruct the children of the Bavarian ducal family, ensured that Maria Anna and her siblings were well-versed in the intellectual and spiritual currents of the Catholic world. She grew up with a firm belief that her destiny was not merely to serve her family, but to advance the cause of her faith. Maria Anna's childhood was not without its challenges. Bavaria, like much of Europe, was caught in the throes of the Protestant Reformation. Martin Luther's teachings, though originating in neighboring Saxony, had spread rapidly, challenging the Catholic stronghold in Bavaria. Her father's efforts to suppress Protestant influence were relentless, involving not only military campaigns but also the patronage of Catholic institutions and the commissioning of Counter-Reformation art. Maria Anna witnessed these efforts firsthand, absorbing the conviction that the defense of Catholicism was a sacred duty. As Maria Anna grew older, she began to attract the attention of suitors across Europe, drawn not only by her noble lineage but also by her reputation for intelligence and grace. Her father, however, was meticulous in arranging a marriage that would serve both the political interests of Bavaria and the broader Catholic cause. Among the many candidates, one stood out: Ferdinand of Styria, a member of the Habsburg dynasty, known for his devout Catholicism and ambitions to restore the faith in his territories. The match was ideal. Ferdinand, like Maria Anna, was deeply influenced by the Jesuit order and shared her commitment to Catholicism. Moreover, the alliance between the Wittelsbachs of Bavaria and the Habsburgs of Austria would strengthen the Catholic front against the growing Protestant threat. Negotiations for the marriage were lengthy and complex, involving not only the families but also papal approval and the intricate politics of the Holy Roman Empire. By the time the arrangements were finalized, Maria Anna was well prepared for the role she would assume as Ferdinand's wife. In 1600, the marriage was celebrated with great pomp and splendor in Graz, Ferdinand's capital in Styria. The festivities reflected not only the union of two powerful families but also the hope of a renewed Catholic Europe. For Maria Anna, however, the transition to her new life was not without challenges. Graz was far removed from the cosmopolitan court of Munich, and the political climate was tense, with Protestant nobles in Styria openly resisting Ferdinand's efforts to recatholicize the region. As a young bride, Maria Anna found herself at the heart of a volatile situation, requiring not only grace but also political acumen. Despite these challenges, Maria Anna quickly adapted to her new role. She became a trusted advisor to Ferdinand, offering not only emotional support but also keen insights into the intricacies of court politics. Her influence was subtle but significant, often working behind the scenes to strengthen Ferdinand's position and to promote Catholic unity. She also took an active interest in the welfare of their subjects, supporting charitable initiatives and religious reforms that aligned with the Counter-Reformation agenda. As the years passed, Maria Anna's role as a mother became central to her legacy. She and Ferdinand had 7 children, 4 of whom survived to adulthood. From an early age, she instilled in them the values of faith, duty, and loyalty, ensuring that they were well prepared to carry forward the Habsburg legacy. Her eldest son, Ferdinand III, would later become Holy Roman Emperor, while her daughters formed powerful alliances through their marriages to other Catholic monarchs and nobles. Maria Anna's life in Graz was not without personal sacrifices. The political and religious conflicts that surrounded her often brought uncertainty and danger. Yet she remained steadfast in her faith and her commitment to Ferdinand and their shared mission. Her correspondence during this time reveals a woman of deep conviction and resilience, whose quiet strength provided a foundation for Ferdinand's rise to power. As Maria Anna's story unfolds, her impact on Ferdinand's career and the broader Catholic cause becomes increasingly evident. Her influence, though often understated, was a driving force behind many of the decisions that shaped the Habsburg dynasty and the course of European history. In the years to come, her legacy would endure through her children and the enduring strength of the Catholic faith she so passionately defended. Maria Anna's marriage to Ferdinand of Styria in 1600 was far more than a union of 2 individuals. It was a carefully orchestrated political alliance that underscored the intricate dynamics of 17th-century European power struggles. In an era when religion and politics were inseparably intertwined, their union represented a cornerstone of the Catholic Counter-Reformation, a commitment to restoring the dominance of the Catholic faith in a continent increasingly divided by Protestantism. The negotiations leading to the marriage were long and complex, reflective of the high stakes involved. Ferdinand, a member of the powerful Habsburg dynasty, was a rising political figure whose devout Catholicism made him an ideal ally for the Wittelsbachs of Bavaria, themselves champions of the Catholic cause. Despite Ferdinand's fervent religious commitment, his position as ruler of Styria, Carinthia, and Carniola placed him in the midst of Protestant strongholds. Marrying Maria Anna, with her equally devout upbringing and formidable connections, provided Ferdinand not just a consort but a partner in his religious and political endeavors. The wedding celebrations in Graz were a spectacle designed to impress allies and intimidate rivals. The court buzzed with activity as nobility from across the Holy Roman Empire gathered to witness the union. Lavish banquets, processions, and religious ceremonies marked the occasion, blending the magnificence of Habsburg and Wittelsbach traditions. But beneath the surface of celebration lay the undertones of a shared mission, a symbolic declaration of Catholic unity against the tide of Protestant reform. For Maria Anna, this marriage meant leaving the familiarity of her Bavarian homeland for a new life in Styria, a region far less stable than her father's Catholic stronghold. Graz, though a cultural and administrative center, lacked the opulence and security of Munich. The challenges facing Ferdinand were daunting. Protestant nobles wielded significant influence in his territories, and his efforts to re-Catholicize the region had already sparked resentment and unrest. As Ferdinand's wife, Maria Anna was thrust into this volatile environment. Where her role required more than ceremonial duties, it demanded diplomacy, resilience, and an unwavering sense of purpose. Despite the cultural and political upheaval she faced, Maria Anna adapted quickly to her new role. She understood that her position as consort was not merely a personal duty but a public responsibility. While Ferdinand dealt with rebellious nobles and the intricate politics of the Holy Roman Empire, Maria Anna worked diligently to cultivate loyalty among the Catholic factions of the Styrian court. Her grace and piety endeared her to Catholic clergy and laity alike, while her steady demeanor won the respect of even her Protestant adversaries. Beyond her public duties, Maria Anna brought a deeply personal dimension to her marriage. She and Ferdinand shared a profound connection rooted in their mutual faith and commitment to the Catholic cause. Letters exchanged between the two reveal a partnership characterized by mutual respect and reliance. Ferdinand often sought Maria Anna's counsel on matters of state. Valuing her insights and instincts, she, in turn, provided unwavering emotional support, grounding him during times of political and personal strife. One of Maria Anna's greatest contributions during this period was her role in fostering alliances that would prove crucial to Ferdinand's career. As a member of the Wittelsbach family, Maria Anna maintained close ties with her Bavarian relatives, whose military and financial support would later bolster Ferdinand's campaigns. Her connections extended beyond Bavaria, encompassing a network of Catholic monarchs and nobles who shared her vision of a re-Catholicized Europe. These relationships, cultivated through letters, visits, and diplomatic engagements, provided Ferdinand with the resources and allies necessary to consolidate his power. While her influence in politics was undeniable, Maria Anna's domestic life was equally significant. She bore Ferdinand 7 children, 4 of whom survived to adulthood. Her role as a mother was intertwined with her political responsibilities, as she sought to raise her children not only as heirs to the Habsburg legacy, but also as devout Catholics dedicated to the preservation of their faith. Her eldest son, Ferdinand III, was groomed from an early age for leadership, while her daughters were prepared for marriages that would strengthen Catholic alliances across Europe. As the first decade of their marriage unfolded, Ferdinand's star began to rise, thanks in no small part to Maria Anna's steady presence and support. By 1617, he had secured the title of King of Bohemia, setting the stage for his eventual ascension as Holy Roman Emperor. Maria Anna, however, would not live to see the full extent of her husband's triumphs. Yet her role in laying the foundations for his success was undeniable, as she worked tirelessly to ensure that their shared vision of a Catholic Europe endured. Through her marriage to Ferdinand, Maria Anna exemplified the quiet but transformative power of a consort. She was not merely a passive figure in the backdrop of history, but an active participant in shaping the destiny of the Habsburg dynasty and the Counter-Reformation. Her ability to navigate the challenges of a politically volatile era with grace and determination left an indelible mark on her husband's reign and the future of their children, ensuring that her legacy would endure long after her death. Maria Anna's life in Graz during the early years of her marriage was marked by 2 unshakable pillars: her devout Catholic faith and her commitment to her growing family. These twin dedications shaped her daily life, defined her priorities, and influenced the future of the Habsburg dynasty. While her husband, Ferdinand, engaged in the political and military battles of a deeply divided Europe, Maria Anna worked tirelessly behind the scenes, nurturing a household that would become the heart of the Catholic Counter-Reformation. Faith was the bedrock of Maria Anna's existence, a constant source of strength in a world fraught with uncertainty and conflict. Raised in the devout Catholic court of Bavaria, Maria Anna brought her deeply ingrained piety to her new home in Graz. She surrounded herself with Jesuit advisors and confided in them on matters both spiritual and practical. Her daily routine was steeped in prayer, Massachusetts, and acts of charity, providing a moral compass not only for her household but also for the wider Styrian court. Maria Anna's devotion extended beyond personal worship. She took an active role in promoting Catholicism throughout Ferdinand's territories. She supported the construction and renovation of churches, monasteries, and schools, ensuring that these institutions served as both places of worship and centers for spreading the Counter-Reformation message. She also funded numerous charitable initiatives, including aid for the poor and the sick, which endeared her to the Catholic clergy and laity. These efforts complemented Ferdinand's political policies, creating a united front that reinforced the Catholic cause. As much as Maria Anna was devoted to her faith, she was equally dedicated to her family. Her marriage to Ferdinand was not merely a political alliance but a partnership built on mutual respect, affection, and shared purpose. Ferdinand, a deeply religious man himself, valued Maria Anna's counsel and relied on her emotional support during the many crises of his reign. In private, the couple shared moments of tenderness and quiet joy, finding solace in each other amidst the pressures of their public lives. Maria Anna and Ferdinand's partnership bore fruit not only in their shared mission but also in their children. Between 1601 and 1614, Maria Anna gave birth to 7 children, 4 of whom survived to adulthood: Ferdinand III, Maria Anna, Cecilia Renata, and Leopold Wilhelm. Each child represented both a personal joy and a strategic asset, as Maria Anna and Ferdinand sought to secure the Habsburg legacy through marriage alliances and political appointments. As a mother, Maria Anna was deeply involved in the upbringing of her children. She ensured that they received an education rooted in Catholic values, working closely with Jesuit tutors to instill in them a sense of duty, discipline, and devotion. Her eldest son, Ferdinand III, was groomed from an early age to follow in his father's footsteps as a leader of the Catholic world. Maria Anna's influence on his character and beliefs was profound, shaping him into a ruler who would carry forward her legacy. Her daughters, Maria Anna and Cecilia Renata, were no less significant in her plans. Maria Anna, named after her mother, would go on to marry Maximilian I, Elector of Bavaria, strengthening the alliance between the Habsburgs and Wittelsbachs. Cecilia Renata, meanwhile, was wed to the Ladislaw IV Vasa, King of Poland, further cementing Catholic ties across Europe. These marriages were not merely personal milestones but carefully orchestrated moves in the grand chessboard of European politics, ensuring that the Habsburgs remained at the center of Catholic power. Maria Anna's youngest surviving child, Leopold Wilhelm, was destined for a different path. Encouraged by his mother's example, he pursued a career in the church, becoming a prominent ecclesiastical figure and military leader. His dual roles reflected the intertwining of faith and politics that Maria Anna had exemplified throughout her life. Despite the joy her family brought her, Maria Anna's life was not without sorrow. The deaths of 3 of her children in infancy were profound losses that tested her faith and resilience. Yet she bore these tragedies with characteristic strength, finding solace in her belief that her children were now in the presence of God. These personal trials only deepened her commitment to her remaining children and to the mission she and Ferdinand shared. As the 1610s progressed, Maria Anna's role within the Habsburg court grew even more vital. She became a symbol of stability and devotion, embodying the ideals of the Counter-Reformation and inspiring those around her. Her influence extended beyond her immediate family, shaping the policies and priorities of the Habsburg dynasty. Whether through her charitable works, her support for Catholic institutions, or her guidance as a mother, Maria Anna left an indelible mark on the world she inhabited. In the next chapter of her life, As Ferdinand's political ambitions escalated and Europe edged closer to the catastrophic 30 Years' War, Maria Anna would continue to serve as a pillar of faith and family. Her unwavering dedication to her husband, her children, and her God would remain her defining qualities, even as the challenges facing her family and her faith grew ever more daunting. The year 1618 marked the beginning of one of the most tumultuous periods in European history, the 30 Years' War. At the heart of this conflict was Ferdinand II, Maria Anna's husband, whose staunch Catholicism and determination to restore religious unity made him both a champion for the Catholic cause and a target for Protestant opposition. As Ferdinand navigated the treacherous political waters leading up to his ascension as Holy Roman Emperor, Maria Anna remained his steadfast partner, offering support and guidance during one of the most critical junctures of their lives. The crisis began in Bohemia, where religious tensions between the Protestant majority and the Catholic Habsburg rulers reached a boiling point. Ferdinand, as King of Bohemia, had been enforcing strict Catholic policies, which included curbing Protestant worship and restoring lands to the Catholic Church. These measures enraged the Protestant nobility, culminating in the infamous Defenestration of Prague in May 1618, when two of Ferdinand's Catholic officials were thrown out of a castle window by Protestant rebels. This act of defiance ignited the Bohemian Revolt, a conflict that would soon spiral into a full-scale war engulfing much of Europe. Maria Anna's role during this turbulent period, though largely behind the scenes, was indispensable. She acted as Ferdinand's confidant, providing emotional and spiritual support as he faced mounting challenges. The letters exchanged between the two reveal a relationship built on trust and mutual reliance, with Maria Anna often offering words of encouragement and wisdom. In one poignant letter, she reminded Ferdinand of their shared faith and the divine mission they believed they were fulfilling, urging him to remain steadfast despite the odds. Ferdinand's initial response to the Bohemian Revolt was met with significant obstacles. The Protestant rebels quickly gained support from other Protestant states within the Holy Roman Empire and even sought aid from foreign powers like the Dutch Republic and England. Meanwhile, Ferdinand's Catholic allies were cautious, reluctant to commit resources to what many saw as a regional conflict. Maria Anna's connections to her Wittelsbach family in Bavaria proved invaluable during this time. Through her influence, Ferdinand was able to secure the support of Maximilian I of Bavaria, her brother, who provided troops and resources through the Catholic League, a coalition of Catholic states dedicated to defending their faith. As Ferdinand struggled to maintain control in Bohemia, Maria Anna worked tirelessly to strengthen the Catholic cause in other ways. She corresponded with Catholic leaders across Europe, using her diplomatic skills to build alliances and secure much-needed support for her husband. Her efforts extended to religious institutions as well, as she encouraged the clergy to rally their congregations in support of Ferdinand's mission. In doing so, she helped to lay the groundwork for the broader Catholic resurgence that would define the early years of the 30 Years' War. The turning point in Ferdinand's fortunes came in 1619, when he was elected Holy Roman Emperor following the death of Emperor Matthias. This elevation to the imperial throne not only bolstered Ferdinand's legitimacy, but also provided him with the authority and resources needed to confront the Bohemian rebels. However, the situation in Bohemia remained dire. By the time of his coronation, the Protestant rebels had installed Frederick V, a Calvinist prince, as their king, directly challenging Ferdinand's rule. Maria Anna's influence was evident during this critical phase. As Ferdinand prepared to reclaim his throne in Bohemia, she continued to rally support from Catholic allies, emphasizing the importance of unity and divine providence in their cause. Her unwavering faith and determination inspired Ferdinand to persevere, even as the conflict escalated into a larger religious war. In November 1620, Ferdinand's forces, bolstered by the Catholic League and Spanish Habsburg troops, decisively defeated the Protestant army at the Battle of White Mountain, near Prague. This victory marked the end of the Bohemian Revolt and solidified Ferdinand's rule. but it also marked the beginning of a far more devastating phase of the 30 Years' War. While Ferdinand's triumph at White Mountain was a turning point in his career, it came at a great cost. The conflict left Bohemia in ruins, its economy shattered and its population devastated by war, famine, and disease. Ferdinand's policies in the aftermath, including the forced re-Catholicization of Bohemia and the confiscation of Protestant lands, further deepened the divisions within the empire. Maria Anna, though a staunch supporter of the Catholic cause, was deeply aware of the human cost of these policies. She used her influence to advocate for mercy and reconciliation wherever possible, encouraging Ferdinand to temper his policies with compassion. Tragically, Maria Anna would not live to see the full impact of Ferdinand's reign as Holy Roman Emperor. She passed away in 1616, just 3 years before his election to the imperial throne. Her death was a profound loss for Ferdinand, who often credited her guidance and support as essential to his success. Yet her legacy endured through the alliances she forged, the children she raised, and the faith she inspired in those around her. Maria Anna's contributions during the Bohemian Revolt and Ferdinand's rise to power were a testament to her quiet strength and unwavering devotion. Though she operated largely behind the scenes, her influence was felt in every corner of Ferdinand's reign, shaping the course of history in ways that would resonate for generations to come. As the 30 Years' War raged on, the foundations she helped lay would prove crucial in sustaining the Habsburg dynasty and the Catholic cause during one of Europe's darkest chapters. Maria Anna of Bavaria's role as Queen of Bohemia marked a pivotal chapter in her life, one that tested her resilience, diplomatic skills, and faith. Although her tenure as queen consort in Bohemia was relatively brief due to her passing in 1616, her influence during this time was profound. She found herself navigating the treacherous political and religious dynamics of a deeply divided kingdom, while simultaneously cementing her position as a pillar of the Catholic Counter-Reformation. This period illuminated Maria Anna's unwavering commitment to her husband, Ferdinand, and to the Catholic faith that defined both their lives. In 1617, Ferdinand II was elected King of Bohemia, a title he inherited under the Habsburg claim to the region. However, Bohemia was a hotbed of religious conflict. The Protestant majority viewed Ferdinand's Catholic zeal and his policies as a direct threat to their liberties. Maria Anna accompanied Ferdinand to Prague, stepping into a court rife with tension. The Protestant nobility, wary of Ferdinand's intentions, greeted their new king and queen with hostility thinly veiled behind formalities. It was clear to Maria Anna that her role as queen would not be confined to ceremonial duties. It required diplomacy, tact, and an acute understanding of the volatile political landscape. Maria Anna approached her responsibilities with the same quiet strength that had defined her role in Graz. She sought to build bridges between the Catholic and Protestant factions, recognizing that stability in Bohemia was essential for Ferdinand's success. While Ferdinand focused on the political and military challenges, Maria Anna worked to foster goodwill among the Bohemian people. She visited churches, monasteries, and local communities, offering support to Catholic institutions while extending charity to the poor and the suffering. Her efforts, though constrained by the hostility of the Protestant nobility, earned her the admiration of many within the Catholic population. One of Maria Anna's most significant contributions during her time in Bohemia was her role in supporting Ferdinand's efforts to restore Catholicism in the region. She understood that the Counter-Reformation required more than edicts and military campaigns. It needed the hearts and minds of the people. Maria Anna quietly championed the Jesuit order, whose schools and missions were instrumental in revitalizing Catholic faith and education. She worked to ensure that Catholic institutions were well-funded and that their leaders were empowered to engage with the local population. Her patronage of religious art and architecture further reinforced the Catholic identity of the Habsburg court. Despite her efforts, the situation in Bohemia continued to deteriorate. Protestant nobles, emboldened by foreign support and increasingly disillusioned with Ferdinand's policies, began to organize against the Habsburg rule. The tensions culminated in the infamous Defenestration of Prague in 1618, an event that Maria Anna did not witness firsthand, but whose consequences would profoundly shape her family's legacy. The act of defiance, Protestant leaders throwing Ferdinand's Catholic envoys out of a window, sparked the Bohemian Revolt, plunging the kingdom into chaos and igniting the broader 30 Years' War. During the early stages of the revolt, Maria Anna became a source of stability for Ferdinand. While he faced mounting pressures from rebel factions and wavering allies, she offered counsel and solace. Her letters from this period reveal a woman of deep faith, urging Ferdinand to trust in divine providence and to remain steadfast in his mission. "Our cause is just," she wrote in one missive, "and the Lord shall not abandon those who serve him faithfully." These words, simple yet profound, became a rallying cry for Ferdinand during his darkest hours. Maria Anna's life in Bohemia also tested her personally. The court in Prague was far less welcoming than the one she had known in Bavaria, and the constant threat of rebellion weighed heavily on her. Yet, she remained committed to her role, understanding that her presence alongside Ferdinand was both a symbol of unity and a demonstration of their shared resolve. Even as her health began to decline, Maria Anna continued to fulfill her duties, participating in public ceremonies, supporting Catholic clergy, and ensuring that her children received an education befitting their station. Tragically, Maria Anna's time as Queen of Bohemia was cut short. She passed away in 1616, leaving Ferdinand to face the challenges of his reign without her steadfast presence. Her death was a devastating blow to Ferdinand, who often credited her guidance and support as essential to his success. In the years that followed, Ferdinand would go on to achieve significant victories, including his ascension as Holy Roman Emperor and the decisive defeat of the Bohemian rebels at the Battle of White Mountain. Yet, those who knew him observed that he never fully recovered from the loss of his beloved Maria Anna. Maria Anna's legacy as Queen of Bohemia endured through her children and the foundations she helped lay for Ferdinand's rule. Her quiet diplomacy, unwavering faith, and commitment to the Catholic cause left an indelible mark on the kingdom she served. While history often remembers the kings and generals who shaped the course of the 30 Years' War, Maria Anna's contributions remind us of the vital, though often unseen, roles played by queens and consorts. Her life was a testament to the power of faith and devotion, even in the face of seemingly insurmountable challenges. In the years to come, as Ferdinand and the Habsburg dynasty grappled with the chaos of war, Maria Anna's memory would remain a source of inspiration, a symbol of the enduring strength and grace that had defined her life. The year 1618 marked the eruption of the 30 Years' War, a conflict that would devastate Europe and shape its political and religious landscape for generations. As Ferdinand II stepped into his role as a central figure in the Catholic Counter-Reformation, the stakes for his reign and for the Habsburg dynasty were higher than ever. Though Maria Anna of Bavaria did not live to see the full extent of the war, her influence during its early stages was palpable, laying the groundwork for Ferdinand's ability to navigate one of history's most destructive conflicts. The war's genesis was rooted in the Protestant revolt in Bohemia, but it quickly escalated into a broader struggle involving nearly every major power in Europe. Ferdinand's enforcement of Catholic orthodoxy in his Bohemian territories had incited rebellion among Protestant nobles, culminating in the Defenestration of Prague and the establishment of a Protestant-led government under Frederick V, the so-called Winter King. This direct challenge to Ferdinand's authority not only threatened his reign but also jeopardized the Catholic resurgence he sought to lead. Maria Anna's influence, though less visible by this point due to her passing in 1616, was embedded in Ferdinand's strategies and alliances. Her earlier work in fostering ties with the Catholic League, particularly through her brother Maximilian I of Bavaria, ensured that Ferdinand had a powerful ally as the war began. The Catholic League's forces, led by Johann Tserkles, Count of Tilly, became a cornerstone of Ferdinand's military efforts, bolstered by financial and logistical support that Maria Anna's familial connections had helped secure. Ferdinand's resolve to restore Catholic dominance in Bohemia and beyond was unwavering, a reflection of the shared vision he and Maria Anna had cultivated during their years together. This vision, however, faced daunting challenges. The Bohemian Revolt rapidly gained momentum, drawing in Protestant allies from across the Holy Roman Empire and beyond. Denmark, Sweden, and later France, all motivated by a mixture of religious and political ambitions, would enter the fray, turning what began as a regional conflict into a continental war. As Ferdinand embarked on the arduous task of quelling the Bohemian Rebellion, he relied heavily on the Catholic institutions and networks that Maria Anna had worked to strengthen during her lifetime. The Jesuits, in particular, played a critical role, not only as spiritual advisors but also as propagandists and educators, rallying support for Ferdinand's cause and countering Protestant narratives. The educational reforms and religious outreach that Maria Anna had championed in Styria and Bohemia now bore fruit, helping to solidify Catholic support in key regions. The war's early battles were marked by mixed fortunes for Ferdinand. While his forces, under the command of Tilly, secured a decisive victory at the Battle of White Mountain in 1620, crushing the Bohemian resistance and restoring Habsburg control over Prague. The conflict was far from over. Protestant powers regrouped, and the war expanded into neighboring territories, dragging the empire into a protracted and devastating struggle. For Ferdinand, the memory of Maria Anna provided both solace and inspiration during these turbulent years. He often spoke of her as a model of faith and perseverance, drawing strength from her example as he faced the immense pressures of ruling an empire at war. Her influence was also evident in his approach to governance. Ferdinand's insistence on coupling military campaigns with religious reforms reflected the dual priorities he and Maria Anna had shared throughout their partnership. Maria Anna's legacy extended beyond Ferdinand's personal reflections. Her children, particularly Ferdinand III, embodied her teachings and values, becoming active participants in the war and in the preservation of the Catholic Habsburg legacy. Ferdinand III, who would later succeed his father as Holy Roman Emperor, began to take on leadership roles during this period, showcasing the political and military acumen that Maria Anna had nurtured in him. Her daughters, Maria Anna and Cecilia Renata, played their own roles in forging alliances through their marriages, reinforcing the Habsburg position within the Catholic world. The war's impact on Europe was catastrophic. Entire regions were laid waste by the fighting, their populations decimated by violence, famine, and disease. Ferdinand's policies, including the Edict of Restitution in 1629, sought to reclaim lands lost to Protestant forces and reassert Catholic control. These efforts, while aligning with the goals Maria Anna had supported, further deepened divisions within the empire and prolonged the conflict. Though Maria Anna was no longer by Ferdinand's side, her spirit lived on in the decisions he made and the alliances he maintained. Her earlier contributions to the Catholic cause, from her diplomatic efforts to her work in strengthening religious institutions, provided a foundation upon which Ferdinand could build. Her unwavering faith, which had sustained him during the early years of his reign, continued to serve as a guiding light in the darkest moments of the 30 Years' War. As the conflict dragged on, Ferdinand's successes and failures alike were marked by the indelible influence of the woman who had stood by him during the formative years of his rule. Maria Anna's absence was deeply felt, but her legacy endured, shaping not only the course of Ferdinand's reign but also the destiny of the Habsburg dynasty and the Catholic Church in Europe. As the 30 Years' War raged across Europe, the legacy of Maria Anna of Bavaria became most evident in her children, who carried forward her values, faith, and commitment to the Catholic cause. Maria Anna's influence as a mother and educator shaped a generation of Habsburg leaders, ensuring that her efforts to strengthen the dynasty and defend Catholicism would not end with her passing. Her children, particularly Ferdinand III, Maria Anna of Austria, Cecilia Renata, and Leopold Wilhelm, became key figures in the war and in the broader political landscape of 17th-century Europe. Maria Anna's eldest son, Ferdinand III, was the most significant heir to her legacy. Born in 1608, Ferdinand III grew up under the watchful guidance of his mother, who instilled in him the principles of faith, duty, and leadership. From an early age, Maria Anna ensured that Ferdinand received a rigorous education, guided by Jesuit tutors who emphasized both religious devotion and the practical skills necessary for governance. By the time he reached adulthood, Ferdinand III was well prepared to take on the immense responsibilities of ruling an empire. As Holy Roman Emperor Ferdinand II's reign progressed, Ferdinand III began to take on leadership roles, particularly in the military campaigns of the 30 Years' War. His mother's teachings were evident in his approach to both war and diplomacy. Though he inherited his father's steadfast Catholicism, Ferdinand III showed a pragmatism that reflected his mother's influence, seeking to balance religious zeal with the need for political stability. In the later stages of the war, Ferdinand III played a crucial role in negotiating the Peace of Westphalia, 1648, which ended the 30 Years' War and redefined the political and religious order of Europe. While the war's conclusion marked a compromise between Catholic and Protestant powers, it also solidified the Habsburgs' position as a leading force in European politics, a testament to the groundwork Maria Anna had helped lay. Maria Anna's daughters, Maria Anna of Austria and Cecilia Renata, also became key players in the Habsburg strategy of forging alliances through marriage. Maria Anna of Austria, her namesake, was married to Maximilian I, Elector of Bavaria, in 1635. This union strengthened ties between the Habsburgs and the Wittelsbachs, two of the most powerful Catholic dynasties in Europe. Maria Anna of Austria's marriage was not merely a political arrangement. She became a trusted advisor to her husband and played a significant role in supporting the Catholic League during the war. Her efforts to maintain unity among Catholic powers mirrored her mother's diplomatic skills, ensuring that Bavaria remained a strong ally of the Habsburgs. Cecilia Renata, Maria Anna's second surviving daughter, married the Ladislaw IV Vasa, King of Poland, in 1637. This alliance extended the Habsburgs' influence into Eastern Europe, where Poland was a critical player in the Catholic Counter-Reformation. Cecilia Renata's marriage was celebrated as a triumph for Catholic unity, and her presence at the Polish court reinforced Habsburg ties with the powerful Vasa dynasty. Cecilia Renata, like her mother, embraced her role as both a queen consort and a promoter of Catholic values, contributing to the broader mission of reasserting Catholic dominance in Europe. Maria Anna's youngest surviving child, Leopold Wilhelm, pursued a different path, reflecting the Habsburg tradition of placing younger sons in ecclesiastical roles. Leopold Wilhelm, born in 1614, became a prominent figure in both the church and the military. As a prince of the church, he held high-ranking positions within the Catholic hierarchy, including Grand Master of the Teutonic Order and Archbishop of Olomouc. At the same time, he served as a military leader, commanding Habsburg forces during several key campaigns of the 30 Years' War. Leopold Wilhelm's dual roles as a cleric and a general embodied the intertwining of faith and power that defined the Habsburg dynasty, a legacy shaped in part by Maria Anna's influence. While Maria Anna's children were the most visible carriers of her legacy, her impact extended beyond her immediate family. The alliances she helped forge through her marriage and her diplomatic efforts continued to shape the course of the war and the post-war settlement. The Catholic institutions she supported flourished, playing a central role in the Counter-Reformation and in the cultural and spiritual life of the Habsburg domains. Even in her absence, Maria Anna's contributions to the Catholic cause and to the stability of the Habsburg dynasty resonated throughout Europe. As the next generation of Habsburg leaders came into their own, they carried forward the principles Maria Anna had instilled in them: a commitment to faith, a sense of duty to their subjects, and a willingness to navigate the complex realities of power and politics. Though the 30 Years' War would leave much of Europe in ruins, The Habsburg dynasty emerged from the conflict stronger and more unified, thanks in no small part to the foundations Maria Anna had helped build. The story of Maria Anna's children is a testament to her enduring influence. As Ferdinand III negotiated peace, Maria Anna of Austria strengthened alliances. Cecilia Renata extended Habsburg influence to Poland, and Leopold Wilhelm led armies and served the church. Their actions reflected the values and vision of the mother who had shaped their early years. In the midst of war and upheaval, Maria Anna's legacy lived on, not only in the successes of her family but also in the enduring strength of the Catholic faith she so passionately defended. Maria Anna of Bavaria's death in 1616 was a devastating blow to her husband, Ferdinand II, their children, and the Habsburg court. Her passing came just as Ferdinand was on the cusp of his ascension to the imperial throne and as Europe teetered on the brink of the 30 Years' War. For Ferdinand, Maria Anna was more than a consort. She was his confidant, his advisor, and a vital pillar of emotional and spiritual support. Her loss left a void that would profoundly affect Ferdinand's reign and the trajectory of the Habsburg dynasty. Maria Anna's health had been fragile for years, worn down by the rigors of court life, frequent pregnancies, and the pressures of navigating the volatile political climate of the time. Despite her declining health, she never wavered in her commitment to her family and her faith. Her tireless efforts to support Ferdinand, nurture her children, and advance the Catholic cause reflected her unshakable sense of duty. When she succumbed to illness in October 1616, her death was not only a personal tragedy for her family, but also a significant loss for the Catholic Counter-Reformation movement. Ferdinand was deeply affected by Maria Anna's passing. Her presence had been a source of strength during the early, tumultuous years of his reign, and her absence left him bereft as he faced the challenges ahead. Letters and accounts from Ferdinand's contemporaries reveal a man struggling to come to terms with his grief. "She was my compass," Ferdinand wrote in one letter to a confidant, "my guide in faith and in life. Without her, I am lost." Maria Anna's death also had a profound impact on their children, particularly Ferdinand III, who was just 8 years old at the time. Maria Anna had been deeply involved in her children's upbringing, instilling in them the values of faith, discipline, and loyalty that would define their lives. Her absence created a vacuum that Ferdinand II sought to fill, but his responsibilities as ruler often left him unable to provide the same level of personal attention. Jesuit tutors, many of whom had worked closely with Maria Anna, continued her educational and spiritual mission, ensuring that her legacy lived on through her children. In the broader context of the Habsburg court, Maria Anna's death was a symbolic loss as well as a personal one. She had been a unifying figure, bridging the Bavarian and Habsburg dynasties and serving as a model of piety and devotion. Her absence was keenly felt during the early years of the 30 Years' War, as Ferdinand struggled to rally Catholic allies and maintain stability within his territories. Many within the court remarked on the void left by her death, noting that her diplomatic skills and moral authority would have been invaluable during the escalating conflict. As Ferdinand prepared for his election as Holy Roman Emperor in 1619, he often invoked Maria Anna's memory in his correspondence and speeches. He credited her with shaping his understanding of leadership and his unwavering commitment to the Catholic faith. "It was she who taught me to see my duty not only as a ruler but as a servant of God," he declared during a private meeting with Catholic leaders. This invocation of Maria Anna's legacy became a central theme of Ferdinand's reign, underscoring the profound influence she had wielded even in her absence. Maria Anna's funeral was a grand and solemn affair, reflecting both her status as queen consort and the deep mourning felt by her family and subjects. Held in Graz, the ceremony drew dignitaries and clergy from across the Holy Roman Empire. The Jesuits, whose mission Maria Anna had championed throughout her life, played a central role in the proceedings, delivering sermons that celebrated her piety and devotion. The funeral also served as a moment of reflection for the Habsburg court, as those in attendance contemplated the challenges ahead and the enduring legacy of the woman they had lost. For Ferdinand, Maria Anna's memory became a source of strength as he navigated the trials of the 30 Years' War. He often visited the chapels and churches she had supported during her lifetime, seeking solace in prayer and reflecting on her unwavering faith. Her influence continued to shape his policies, particularly his emphasis on recatholicization and his reliance on the Jesuit order. Ferdinand's decision to issue the Edict of Restitution in 1629, which sought to reclaim Protestant-held lands for the Catholic Church, was in many ways a continuation of the mission he and Maria Anna had pursued together. Maria Anna's legacy also endured through her children, who carried forward her values and priorities. Ferdinand III, who would succeed his father as Holy Roman Emperor, often spoke of his mother's influence on his character and his approach to leadership. Her daughters, Maria Anna of Austria and Cecilia Renata, honored her memory through their roles as Queen's Consort of Bavaria and Poland, respectively, advancing the Catholic cause in their adopted realms. Leopold Wilhelm, her youngest surviving son, embodied her commitment to faith through his dual roles as a military leader and a prince of the Church. In the years following Maria Anna's death, the Habsburg dynasty faced immense challenges as the 30 Years' War escalated. Yet her influence remained a guiding force, providing a moral and spiritual foundation that sustained Ferdinand and his family through the darkest moments of the conflict. Her legacy was not only one of faith and devotion but also of resilience and determination, a reminder of the quiet strength that had defined her life and her contributions to the Habsburg dynasty. As the war drew to a close in 1648 with the signing of the Peace of Westphalia, Ferdinand III and his siblings reflected on the sacrifices and struggles that had shaped their family's history. For them, Maria Anna was more than a memory. She was a source of inspiration, a symbol of the enduring values that had guided their lives. Her contributions to the Catholic Counter-Reformation, her dedication to her family, and her unwavering faith continued to resonate, shaping the course of European history long after her passing. After Maria Anna's death in 1616, Ferdinand II faced the monumental task of leading the Habsburg dynasty and the Catholic cause without the steadfast support of his beloved wife. Though her absence weighed heavily on him, her influence continued to shape his decisions and fortify his resolve. The years that followed were a mixture of triumphs and trials, as Ferdinand navigated the political and military complexities of the 30 Years' War, seeking to secure the future of Catholic Europe and the Habsburg dynasty. In 1619, just 3 years after Maria Anna's passing, Ferdinand achieved a significant milestone: his election as Holy Roman Emperor. This elevation was not without controversy. His strict Catholic policies had alienated many Protestant princes within the Holy Roman Empire, and his candidacy was fiercely opposed by Protestant factions. Despite these challenges, Ferdinand's election was a testament to the alliances and support he had cultivated, much of which could be traced back to Maria Anna's diplomatic efforts during her lifetime. As emperor, Ferdinand sought to fulfill the mission he and Maria Anna had envisioned together: the restoration of Catholic dominance across the empire. His policies were deeply informed by his faith and his belief in divine providence, principles that Maria Anna had reinforced throughout their marriage. One of his first major acts as emperor was to solidify his position in Bohemia, where the Protestant-led revolt had thrown the region into chaos. The Battle of White Mountain in 1620 marked a decisive victory for Ferdinand, allowing him to reassert Habsburg control over Bohemia and implement sweeping recatholicization measures. However, Ferdinand's triumphs came at a cost. The forced recatholicization of Bohemia, which included the confiscation of Protestant lands and the suppression of non-Catholic worship, alienated much of the local population and deepened the divisions within the empire. While these policies aligned with the Counter-Reformation agenda that Ferdinand and Maria Anna had championed, they also fueled resentment and resistance, prolonging the conflict and increasing the suffering of the empire's people. The war soon expanded beyond Bohemia, drawing in foreign powers such as Denmark, Sweden, and France, Ferdinand faced a complex web of alliances and rivalries, with each faction pursuing its own interests under the guise of religious solidarity. The entry of Sweden into the war in 1630, led by the brilliant military strategist Gustavus Adolphus, marked a particularly challenging phase for Ferdinand. The Swedish army's victories threatened Habsburg dominance and forced Ferdinand to adapt his strategies. Despite these setbacks, Ferdinand's resolve remained unshaken, bolstered by the memory of Maria Anna and the principles they had shared. He relied heavily on his network of Catholic allies, including the Spanish Habsburgs and the Catholic League, to counter the Protestant advances. He also placed his trust in capable generals such as Albrecht von Wallenstein, whose unconventional tactics brought significant victories but also introduced political tensions within Ferdinand's court. The complexities of Wallenstein's relationship with Ferdinand highlighted the challenges of leadership during this tumultuous period. While Wallenstein's military successes were crucial in stemming the Protestant tide, his growing autonomy and political ambitions created friction with Ferdinand and his advisors. In 1634, Ferdinand ultimately ordered Wallenstein's assassination, a decision that underscored the precarious balance of power within the empire. Amid these challenges, Ferdinand sought solace in his faith, frequently reflecting on Maria Anna's guidance and the shared mission they had pursued. He often visited the religious institutions they had supported together, finding strength in prayer and the Jesuit teachings that had been so central to their lives. These moments of reflection served as a reminder of the enduring legacy Maria Anna had left behind, a legacy that continued to inspire Ferdinand as he faced the immense pressures of ruling an empire at war. Ferdinand's later years were marked by both personal and political challenges. The strain of the war, combined with his advancing age, took a toll on his health. Yet, even in his final years, Ferdinand remained committed to the vision he and Maria Anna had shared. His efforts to secure the succession of his son, Ferdinand III, as Holy Roman Emperor were a testament to his determination to preserve the Habsburg dynasty and its role in the Catholic Counter-Reformation. In 1637, Ferdinand II passed away, leaving behind a complex legacy. His reign had been defined by his unwavering commitment to his faith and his tireless efforts to defend the Catholic Church and the Habsburg dynasty. While the 30 Years' War continued under the leadership of Ferdinand III, the foundations laid by Ferdinand II, many of which were influenced by Maria Anna, provided a framework for navigating the challenges ahead. Ferdinand's triumphs and challenges as Holy Roman Emperor were inextricably linked to Maria Anna's influence. Her guidance during the early years of his reign, her role in strengthening Catholic alliances, and her dedication to their shared mission had shaped Ferdinand's approach to leadership and his vision for the empire. Though she did not live to see the full extent of his accomplishments, Maria Anna's legacy remained a guiding force, reflected in the policies he pursued, the alliances he maintained, and the faith he upheld. As Ferdinand II's reign came to an end, the Habsburg dynasty stood at a crossroads. The war had taken a heavy toll on Europe, but the Catholic cause had been bolstered by the efforts of leaders like Ferdinand and the enduring influence of figures like Maria Anna. Together, their partnership had left an indelible mark on European history, shaping the trajectory of the Counter-Reformation and the legacy of the Habsburgs for generations to come. The legacy of Maria Anna of Bavaria endured most visibly in her children, whose lives and actions reflected the values and priorities she had instilled in them. Among them, Ferdinand III emerged as a pivotal figure in the continuation of the Habsburg dynasty's influence, while Maria Anna of Austria, Cecilia Renata, and Leopold Wilhelm played key roles in strengthening the dynasty's alliances and the Catholic cause across Europe. Each carried forward their mother's teachings, and through their actions, Maria Anna's influence continued to shape the course of European history even after her passing. Ferdinand III, Maria Anna's eldest son, stepped into a position of great responsibility as the 30 Years' War ravaged Europe. Groomed from an early age to succeed his father, Ferdinand II, he carried forward both the political and religious legacy of his parents. His upbringing, steeped in Jesuit education and his mother's unwavering commitment to faith and duty, prepared him for the immense challenges he would face as Holy Roman Emperor. After his father's death in 1637, Ferdinand III ascended to the imperial throne, becoming one of the key architects of the peace that would eventually bring the devastating conflict to an end. Throughout the later years of the 30 Years' War, Ferdinand III demonstrated a pragmatism that bore the hallmarks of his mother's influence. While he remained committed to the Catholic cause, he recognized the need for compromise to secure stability within the empire. His leadership during the negotiations leading to the Peace of Westphalia in 1648 showcased his ability to balance faith and politics, a skill his mother had modeled during her lifetime. The peace treaty, though controversial for its concessions to Protestant powers, marked a turning point in European history, ending decades of war and redefining the religious and political landscape of the continent. Ferdinand III's role in these negotiations reflected not only his own political acumen, but also the values of reconciliation and perseverance that Maria Anna had instilled in him. Maria Anna's daughters, Maria Anna of Austria and Cecilia Renata, played equally significant roles in advancing the Habsburg agenda through strategic marriages. Maria Anna of Austria, named after her mother, married Maximilian I, Elector of Bavaria, in 1635. This union solidified the alliance between the Habsburgs and the Wittelsbachs, two of the most powerful Catholic dynasties in Europe. Maria Anna of Austria became a trusted advisor to her husband, mirroring her mother's role as a consort. She worked tirelessly to support the Catholic League and to strengthen Bavaria's position within the empire, ensuring that her family's legacy remained secure. Cecilia Renata, Maria Anna's second surviving daughter, married the Ladislaw IV Vasa, King of Poland, in 1637. This marriage extended the Habsburgs' influence into Eastern Europe, where Poland was a crucial ally in the Catholic Counter-Reformation. Cecilia Renata's presence at the Polish court reinforced the Habsburg-Vasa alliance, and her efforts to promote Catholicism in a region fraught with religious tensions echoed her mother's dedication to the faith. Cecilia Renata's marriage also highlighted the importance of diplomacy and cultural exchange, as she navigated the complexities of life in a foreign court with the same grace and resilience her mother had demonstrated. Leopold Wilhelm, Maria Anna's youngest surviving child, pursued a dual career in the church and the military, embodying the Habsburg tradition of intertwining faith and politics. As a prince of the church, he held several high-ranking ecclesiastical positions, including Grand Master of the Teutonic Order and Archbishop of Olomouc. These roles allowed him to further the Counter-Reformation mission his mother had championed. Simultaneously, Leopold Wilhelm became a prominent military leader, commanding Habsburg forces during critical campaigns of the 30 Years' War. His ability to balance these roles reflected the values of service and duty that Maria Anna had instilled in him, ensuring that her legacy lived on in both the spiritual and political spheres. While Maria Anna's influence was most evident in her children, it also extended to the broader Habsburg dynasty and the Catholic Church. The institutions she had supported during her lifetime, from Jesuit schools to charitable foundations, continued to thrive, providing education and spiritual guidance to countless individuals. Her efforts to strengthen Catholic alliances through diplomacy and marriage bore fruit in the form of enduring partnerships that bolstered the Habsburgs' position in Europe. Even as the 30 Years' War took its toll on the continent, Maria Anna's contributions ensured that the Catholic cause remained resilient, and her vision of a unified and devout Europe endured in the actions of her descendants. The lives of Maria Anna's children were a testament to her enduring legacy. Ferdinand III's role as a peacemaker, Maria Anna of Austria's influence in Bavaria, Cecilia Renata's contributions in Poland, and Leopold Wilhelm's dual service to the church and the military all reflected the values and priorities their mother had imparted to them. Through their actions, Maria Anna's vision of a strong, united, and faithful Habsburg dynasty continued to shape the course of European history, proving that her influence extended far beyond her own lifetime. The story of Maria Anna of Bavaria concludes not with her death, but with the enduring legacy she left behind. As the 30 Years' War drew to a close in Europe, began the slow process of recovery. The influence of her life and values continued to resonate. Maria Anna's unwavering faith, commitment to family, and dedication to the Catholic cause had shaped not only her husband, Ferdinand II, but also the generations of Habsburg leaders who followed. Her life serves as a reminder of the profound and lasting impact one person can have. Even amid the chaos and upheaval of history, Ferdinand II's reign, defined by his steadfast commitment to the Counter-Reformation and his resolve during one of Europe's darkest periods, owed much to Maria Anna's guidance and support during their years together. As Holy Roman Emperor, Ferdinand often reflected on the principles they had shared, drawing strength from her memory as he faced the immense challenges of leadership. Though the 30 Years' War exacted a heavy toll, Ferdinand's policies, rooted in the vision he and Maria Anna had forged, ensured the survival and resilience of the Habsburg dynasty. The Peace of Westphalia in 1648 brought an end to the 30 Years' War, fundamentally reshaping the political and religious landscape of Europe. The treaty acknowledged the coexistence of Catholicism, Lutheranism, and Calvinism, marking a significant compromise after decades of bloodshed. For Ferdinand III, Maria Anna's eldest son and successor to the imperial throne, the peace settlement was both a conclusion to years of conflict and a continuation of his parents' legacy. His role in negotiating the treaty demonstrated the pragmatism and faith Maria Anna had instilled in him, balancing the need for religious conviction with the realities of political stability. Maria Anna's other children, too, carried her legacy forward. Maria Anna of Austria, through her marriage to Maximilian I of Bavaria, ensured that the ties between the Habsburgs and Wittelsbachs remained strong, bolstering Catholic unity in the wake of the war. Cecilia Renata's influence at the Polish court extended the Habsburg reach into Eastern Europe, while Leopold Wilhelm's dual service as a prince of the church and a military leader embodied the fusion of faith and power that Maria Anna had exemplified. Beyond her family, Maria Anna's contributions to the Catholic Counter-Reformation endured through the institutions she had supported. The Jesuit schools and missions she had championed continued to educate and inspire generations, spreading the values of faith, discipline, and service. Her patronage of religious art and architecture left a lasting cultural legacy, reflecting the spiritual ideals that had guided her life. In the centuries that followed, Maria Anna's life and legacy became a source of inspiration for historians and scholars seeking to understand the complexities of the 30 Years' War and the Counter-Reformation. Her story, often overshadowed by the more visible actions of her husband and sons, reveals the vital role of women in shaping the course of history. As a queen, wife, and mother, Maria Anna wielded a quiet but powerful influence, proving that leadership is not always measured by crowns or titles but by the enduring impact of faith, devotion, and resilience. Maria Anna of Bavaria's legacy lives on not only in the annals of history, but also in the lessons her life imparts to future generations. She reminds us that even in times of great conflict and uncertainty, the strength of faith, the importance of family, and the pursuit of unity can illuminate a path forward. Through her unwavering commitment to her beliefs and her family, Maria Anna left an indelible mark on the Habsburg dynasty, the Catholic Church, and the history of Europe, a legacy that continues to inspire and endure.